Welcome back. Governors and lieutenant governors don't always agree on everything. In fact, in many states, they can be from different parties. But imagine a situation where the governor leaves the state and the lieutenant governor decides to immediately take over and try to do a lot of stuff the governor won't like while he's gone. Sounds like a movie script, except it's actually happening in the state of Idaho. The state's #2 executive, Lieutenant Governor Janet McGeachin, hijacked power as soon as the governor, Brad Little, left for a trip to the border this week. Now, while Little was in Texas meeting with 9 other Republican governors over concerns on how President Biden is handling border security, Lieutenant Governor McGeachin, also a Republican, signed an executive order banning vaccine passports and mandatory COVID testing in schools. She even tried to mobilize the Idaho National Guard to the border. The head of Idaho's National Guard rejected the lieutenant governor's request. Governor Little responding today, seemingly unconcerned that his edicts have been formally overturned.
We're working on it. We'll take care of it. This is not my first rodeo on this event, but we'll take care of it when we get back.
The governor tweeting earlier, "I'm in Texas and performing my duties as the duly elected governor of Idaho, and I have not authorized the lieutenant governor to act on my behalf." And those of you asking, no, Governor Little did not select McGeachin to be his running mate. In Idaho, races for governor and lieutenant governor are run separately. And get this isn't even the first time that McGeachin's gone rogue. Back in May, while Governor Little was at a Republican conference in Tennessee, McGeachin issued an executive order prohibiting mask mandates. Look, her motives seem clear. It's an eye on the state's governor mansion. She's trying to show the people of Idaho that she's willing to go much further on some hot-button issues than the Republican governor now.
Over time, arrogant politicians have allowed Idaho to lose the principles that made Idaho great. They have locked down our businesses and forced us to abide by their preferences about our health. It's time to take back our state and restore traditional conservative values in Idaho. It's time to make Idaho free again.
Okay, so can the lieutenant governor in Idaho take executive actions when the governor is out of the state? Well, sort of. Idaho's constitution says that absence from the state or inability to discharge the powers and duties of his office are grounds for governor's powers, including executive actions to, quote, devolve upon the lieutenant governor. Now, obviously, this was not the intent. It also talks about death and resignation, etc. Constitution was ratified in 1889 when leaving the state was a big deal. But in theory, the lieutenant governor has the power to issue executive orders when the governor is out of the state. When she tried these shenanigans before, the state's deputy attorney general wrote a legal letter declaring the lieutenant governor did not have the power to change state law or to determine public health policy, and that she was encroaching on the authority of local school districts. You know, those same issues apply here. But it sounds like if she can figure out the right issue and do it in the right way until there's a court ruling on this, she'll continue to try to play some games with the people of Idaho. Joining me now is Sally Krutzig. She's a reporter for the Idaho Statesman. Sally, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. All right, so how are people in Idaho responding to this? Meaning, are they saying this is great? Are they ready to implement her orders, even though it seems like they may just be for a day or two?
I think you have the full range of reactions. You know, as you said, McGeachin was elected by the people. She has supporters. Idaho is a state with high vaccine hesitancy rates. Not everyone is upset about this surprise executive order. At the same time, you have, people from her own party, Republican leaders, calling her out on social media, calling her out in statements, saying this is a step too far.
But I mean, putting aside the policy issues, right, about the debates over, the mandates and this and that, I mean, this seems nuts, right? The idea that the governor leaves the state and suddenly it's like the lieutenant governor runs into his house and says, okay, now I've got my chance. I'm going to go and issue all these orders. I mean, I guess one of the questions is, are any of these orders actually taking effect? I mean, we know the National Guard already said no to going down to the border. are any of these orders being implemented, or is everyone just sort of like, oh, yeah, she's at it again. Let's just wait till dad comes home and we'll deal with this?
Well, the interesting thing is these executive orders are about things that are not even in place in Idaho. Her first one in May banned statewide mask mandates. We did not have a statewide mask mandate. She recently, this was an expansion of an order to ban vaccine passports. There are no vaccine passports in Idaho. Currently, state agencies are not requiring proof of COVID vaccination to access services. These are not things that are happening. So this is, the word grandstanding has been used.
So do you think, though, you mentioned that she's got a lot of supporters. I mean, look, she's making a political calculation here that it's going to help her. What is the thinking from the politicos inside of Idaho? Does these sort of, is these sort of shenanigans going to help her?
I think it is a bold way to say, this is what I'm about, and this is how I want to do things differently than, Governor Little is doing right now. Governor Little has not announced whether he's going to run, but there's speculation he could. And so in that case, I think she's trying to show, this is what he's doing and this is what I would do if you elected me instead.
Yeah, see, I'm a rules guy. I'm a law and order guy. I like people to follow the way things are supposed to happen. And I typically don't like it when people sort of decide to sort of take the law into their own hands. But on this one, with the Idaho Constitution, there is some ambiguity. And the Idaho Supreme Court has not officially ruled on it, right?
Right. There hasn't really been a need before. Normally, when the governor leaves and lieutenant governor becomes acting governor, it's a name only. They get to park in the governor's parking spot that day. But, McGeehan taking that a step farther has definitely raised issues on whether this should still be part of our laws.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if when he gets back, that parking spot has new fresh paint over that spot with somebody else's name on it. All right, Sally, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.